and welcome to the Winnipeg High School Football Championship Bowl. I'm your host, Connor McBride. Today's game is between Steinbach and Kelvin, and it's going to be an exciting one. It's brought to you live by LRSD TV, a one-of-a-kind internet-based television station in the Louis Riel School Division's Arts and Technology Center. It's completely student-run by the broadcast media program. I could talk all about the program, but I think maybe if you watch this video, you'll get a much better idea. Take a look.
Broadcast media program here at ATC is an excellent and fun 8-credit program that gives the students the opportunity to be a part of the TV, radio, and media industry.
They're going to learn the basics of broadcast media, so they're going to be learning how to be on-air people, how to work a camera, be technical people behind the scenes, editing, special effects, graphics. We're going to show them how to do films, documentaries, news. There's so many aspects to broadcasting nowadays. It's just not as simple as I'm going to be a cameraman at a news station. They can do so much more. So we're going to teach a lot of different aspects of this industry.
Students work on state-of-the-art computers, audio equipment, professional cameras, and a fully mobile production studio. That studio travels from school to school broadcasting live events on the LRSD.TV online TV station.
The equipment we're using here at ATC is close to professional broadcast as we possibly can afford. Obviously, some things are very expensive, so we can't afford buying all those things, but we're using professional cameras. We have a full-size switcher, which is very expensive, and we have a lot of equipment here, including a radio station that's using professional radio software, the same stuff you'd see at a radio station. We're trying to emulate industry as best we possibly can with what we have here, and I think it's really cool that students get to use these kind of toys at a high school level.
Students also get to work on LRSD TV and LRSD radio. This will give students hands-on opportunities and real experiences that you would find on a professional job site.
We actually are creating a TV station here and a radio station for students to hone their skills. The best way to do it is continuing to do it hands-on. So one of the things that we do a lot of are sporting events for television, and we're going to be starting our radio program this year where students will actually be on the air and be able to be heard by family and friends on the internet.
It's because of opportunities like this that makes the students excited to be part of this program.
I would really say that this program has a lot to give. They teach you everything in every single detail, the theory part, the practical things, and also you get to meet a lot of new people over here. You get to make contacts, you get to know about the industry a lot. So it's a really good program if you're thinking about going in photography or videography things.
So much in this course that you just don't know before you take it. Like, you don't really know broadcasting is a job. Maybe you do. I don't know. I learned everything about post-production. The teacher is great. He has experience in the industry, and we use great equipment.
By the end of the program, the goal is to prepare students for a career in the broadcasting industry or to move on to post-secondary education. Students can go on a 4-week work experience. Thanks to the experience they get here using professional equipment and broadcasting sporting events, students have the opportunity to get a job in the industry and find entry-level employment in the field as general operators, television assistants, camera operators, editors, and more.
Now I work for Dome Productions that works under TSN, and they do sports such as the Jets and the Bombers. So Mr. P gave out my name to TSN and got me the job for the Bombers, and I did Parab. So they liked me, and I ended up getting another job with the Jets. So I do the score bug for them.
You want to join this exciting program? Go to our website or call us at 204-237-8951.
Broadcast media is an incredibly exciting course, and if you're interested, we're always looking for new students. So I'm going to remind you to go to our website for more information. But now I'm going to throw it up to Brian Cameron and Greg Kiesman, who are going to talk to you about the game. Take it away.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Welcome to the first of 2 games tonight from the Investors Group field, the CTV Bowl between the Kelvin Clippers and the Steinbach Sabres. The CTV Bowl, which is the culmination of the high school season for these 2 teams. Looking forward to a good game.
Thanks, Brian. Yeah, we're looking forward to a great game here tonight at Investors Group Field. We have Steinbach Sabres, who's coached by Jamie Peters. Jamie's been the head coach at out in Steinbach for 7 years now. his team has been in this bowl for the last 3 years. Unfortunately for Steinbach, they've lost the prior 2. So they're really pushing hard to win a championship here and bring it home back to Steinbach. Kelvin Clippers are coached by John Ramu. He's been at the helm there for 14 years at Kelvin. John has some playing experience with the U of M Bisons, and he's an excellent coach. And Kelvin's obviously very excited to be here and playing in the CTV Bowl. We have an excellent evening here. Currently, it's 11 degrees Celsius. Wind, a little bit of wind coming out of the north, so I don't think wind's going to play a huge factor in today's game. In years past, we've had temperatures ranging from anywhere from plus 11 like today down to minus 20. So I think it'll be a great night, and I think we'll have some great performances tonight.
Good night for football. Earlier this week on Tuesday, we were able to be lucky enough to be part of the Winnipeg High School football press conference. And at that time, both of the coaches were interviewed, and just to get their perspectives on the game ahead of time. So we're going to hear and take a look at and listen to what they had to say to get things going today.
The kids have to bring their emotion, and we have to play mistake-free football. You know, a lot of times when you go into a game, you know kids are going to make mistakes, but we want to eliminate them. And then if we do make them, how are we going to overcome them? And that's the biggest thing that we've learned the last couple of weeks. You know, we've been down, we've given up some big plays, but the kids kept fighting back and overcoming those mistakes.
We got to play mistake-free football. We got to be aggressive, and we got to be calm in the game.
A little bit more building on that. I mean, our defense has to continue to be dominant like it has been all year, and our offense needs to show up and make some plays, and we got to get some points on the board and play some good special teams, and we've got to contain Kelvin's really athletic quarterback.
Well, I think we have the best defense in our league, and if our offense shows up, then we're going to win the game.
True patriot love in all thy sons command, car ton bras sait porter l'épée, il sait porter la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Well, welcome back. Vastly different records to get themselves here to this bowl, but two teams who qualified regardless. So we're looking for again one of our second last game of the bowl weekend. We had two yesterday that we had the joy or the happiness to be part of yesterday. Two excellent games to start off the bowl season this year. Start off yesterday with St. John's versus Kelowna East, who finished with a 35-32 game in favor of Kelowna East. But I'll tell you, one of the best football games we've seen in a long time. And then later that evening, we got the opportunity to watch.
In the Canadiens Bowl, it was Portage Trojans versus Dryden Eagles, and Dryden was able to win 21-0. Great game again. What a defensive struggle, and boy, shout out to Dryden's defense for having a spectacular game and the shutout there.
Yeah, although 21-0 was not indicated play either. They did play a very, very good game. We really have to compliment all of the teams that we saw yesterday who played some fantastic football, entertaining from the word go, and really was enjoyment. The night blew by pretty quickly for the two of us because we were able to see some really good ball played. Looking forward to two more games tonight.
So the first one here tonight, we'll see Steinbach in black and yellow, kicking off to Kelvin in red and white. Kelvin's been in the league for quite some time, now, and Steinbach is fairly new into the Winnipeg High School Football League. Winnipeg High School Football League has teams all the way from Steinbach to Dryden, Fort Francis, all the way out to Brandon. So it's a huge league now. Here we go for the kickoff.
So Kelvin will receive, kicked off by Chiasson from Steinbach. Picked up in the middle of the field by Kelvin, who will run it up to and get up to the 45-yard line. Held up and continues to try and push, but blown dead at about, gets up to about the 45-yard line. So Kelvin will start 1st and 10 from about their 44-yard line. We're going to apologize a little bit ahead of time, folks, and we are really going to try to do our best to see the numbers on the Steinbach uniforms, but from where we're sitting up here, they can be tough to read at times. So Kelvin starts off with the ball and starts off with a draw play right off the bat, but read quite easily by Steinbach. Caught in the backfield was quarterback Tavian Daniels. Even lost in the play for about 2 yards. Well read.
Good job by Steinbach just to penetrate the gaps. Obviously, their first play of the game, their defense pretty fired up to come hard across the line of scrimmage.
So loss of 1 on the play. 2nd and 11 from the Kelvin's 43-yard line. Back in the shotgun, but hands off the ball to number 21 from Kelvin, who will get about 5-6 yards on the play, but not enough for the first down.
21 Silas Trachulis, is a grade 12 running back. We'll be looking for big things from him all day. He had 114 carries for 787 yards during the regular season.
Pretty good season for him. So that will make it 3rd and 6. And Kelvin will be punting the ball. So 2 and out to start off with for Kelvin, who will be giving the ball over to the
they're trying
Sabres.
a field goal. They're kicking a field goal here. They have a man on side, so they're going to try to recover this.
Weren't able to get short of that, but still, good run up to the side, picked up to about the 35-yard line by number
25.
25 in the tackle, carried on the play by number 44 from Steinbach.
So Kelvin's pulling out a little bit of trickery here. They line up to kick a field goal, and what they had is they had a man wide, and as long as he lines up behind the ball where the ball's being held, he's onside. That means he can run down and recover that ball. So again, you got to play heads-up football when you're playing against Kelvin.
Outran the punt or the kick, I think, though, and it was easily picked up by Steinbach, who will start from their own 35-yard line, 1st and 10. So quarterback Harrison Pankratz hands off and will run to his right side. Gain of about 8, 9, maybe even 10 yards. Might have the first down already. Looking just short of the first down, but a great run to the right side of the quarterback, taken by their running back, number 12, Austin Bueller. So they will be 2nd and 1 from about the 45-yard line. Hand it off again to Bueller, who will find lots of room to the right side and cut back into the middle. Tackle on the play at about the 52, 54-yard line of Kelvin. Great run.
Great run. Even a better tackle. If the defender wouldn't have made the tackle there, he would have scored, obviously.
Clear sailing all the way to the end zone on that one. So Steinbach will continue 1st and 10 from Kelvin's 52-yard line. Pankratz lines up under center. Hands off again to Bueller. Not much room this time. Caught almost right away on the play, maybe a gain of 2 yards. Tackled on the play by number 54. So 2nd and 8 from the 50-yard line.
What you're seeing up front there by Kelvin's defensive line is basically 3 down and 2 stand-up defensive ends. 2 other linebackers just outside of the defensive end, or just inside of the defensive end. So obviously they're trying to stop the run here.
So Pankratz takes it in the shotgun and had some room, but tripped up on the play by number 52 from Kelvin. So that will make it a 3rd down play, and it appears that Steinbach is sending out a kicking unit.
Interesting D-line formation. Obviously, they've pre-scouted Steinbach, and they know that they're going to have to stop the run, stop Bueller. So they put 3 down line. They're covering up the center and 2 guards and 2 stand-up defensive ends. So we'll see how this plays out for the rest of the game.
Ball's kicked up, but it's held, and they're faking the play, and they're looking downfield. So number 12 will run up and should get the first down. Picked up again. Oh, sorry, stolen by Kelvin.
Wow, what a rare play.
Turnover on the play. Kelvin will take the ball from their own 40-yard line by number 40.
Great play. Steinbach is about to fake the punt. Bueller, the punter, also running back, is running with the ball. He pops it out, recovered on the play by Steinbach, and great job by the Kelvin player, number 13, to strip the ball. First down, Kelvin.
Steinbach has a good job of marching the ball, but it's taken from them by Kelvin, who will, on the next play, pitch out to the right, his left side, find his receiver, number 13. Assad Sharif will get a gain of about 7 or 8 yards. Second down and 2 from their own 48-yard line. Daniels continues in the shotgun with the plane blown dead. Looks like early motion, and that is what the call is from the referee.
Procedure, Kelvin, number 54, 5-yard penalty, second down remains.
So illegal procedures called on number 54 from Kelvin.
Well, Kelvin's in second and long. They have 5 receivers spread to the right here.
Second and 7. They will look outside. Sharif catches the ball on the right side. Look for some room, but closed in by the Steinbach coverage.
It's going to be close, maybe about a yard short here.
It appears that the referees are giving them a yard, maybe even a yard and a half, guys.
You could, all the way up in the booth here, you can hear the Steinbach coaches yelling at their players to drive upfield on those screens. Looks like Kelvin's going for it on 3rd and 2.
On their side of the field. Interesting call early in the game. So Daniels will continue and will try to take the ball himself, but will be caught behind the line. Turnover on downs. Great cover by the Steinbach defense.
Nathan Potker, number 95 on Steinbach with the play. Excellent job on Steinbach's defense to get the ball inside of Kelvin's territory here.
And not far from where they lost the ball. So they will start on now at the 49-yard line of Kelvin, 1st and 10.
So both teams making a few errors here.
So Pankratz continues in the shotgun. Looks down, he looks downfield, and he will throw to his receiver, but over his head.
Nice pattern on that. The inside receiver just did an under, and inside receiver did a wheel, and outside receiver just did a quick post, and he was open, just a little bit overthrown.
Appeared to be trying to get to number 82, Jordan Brunel. So now that makes it 2nd and 10 from the 49-yard line of Kelvin. Pankratz will continue the shotgun with one back. Looks again downfield to throw, and this time it's intercepted. Picked on the play by number 30 of Kelvin, who will find some room down the left side. Tackled on the play at about the 53-yard line by number 1.
Hunter Nielsen on the tackle. Number 50 interception, Neil Santos. Looked like Steinbach was running the similar patterns out front, so obviously that the DB there kind of anticipated that and jumped the route on that, making a nice pick.
And probably Steinbach thought that they saw something they could exploit again. Unfortunately for them, their defensive back read it well and was able to intercept the ball. So the next play goes right up the middle to number 21 from Kelvin, Silas Trachillis. About 4-yard gain on the play. So 2nd and 6 from the 43-yard line now of Steinbach.
Nice push by the Kelvin offensive line to get about 4 yards on that play.
He will run with 5 receivers now. Oh, the back falls in behind him as I say that. And this time, he will try to run up the middle. Daniels tries to find some room, but will be about 2 yards short of the first down.
Looks like there's a bit of a mix-up. The back seemed to go to the wrong side on that play. A little bit of a broken play, and Daniels was able to, he's a grade 12 quarterback, so he's been in this situation before, and you make something out of nothing here. So
3rd and 2, and it appears Kelvin will go for it. So Daniels lines up in the shotgun. One back and takes it himself and goes to the right side, but is picked up on the play right away by Steinbach. Good read on their defense, so a turnover and downs and a big loss. Sacked on the play is quarterback Daniels.
Looks like 97, William Godwalt did a great job, penetrated upfield and made a great play on that. That's another turnover for Kelvin on 3rd down.
So we're seeing it's been a series of turnovers the last few possessions by each team. So let's see if Steinbach can actually move the ball down the field and make something happen here. So this time Pankratz will start under center. Hands off to his running back and gets about 3-4 yards up the middle. Tackled on the play, it appears by number 54. Second down and 6 from the 51-yard line of Steinbach. Pankratz goes back in the shotgun this time. Looking downfield again, this time well outside, and we have a flag on the play. Could be pass interference.
If it is pass interference, Steinbach will get a first down out of this.
So we're waiting for the call from the referee, but it appeared that right in that area, right around where the ball was attempted to be caught.
Yeah. That's a call in the field, so we'll look for Steinbach to get first down.
Kelvin, number 6, first down.
And that is the call. So that'll be a 15-yard penalty, which will move the ball down the field for Steinbach, who will be well inside Kelvin territory, the 49-yard line. 1st and 10 with 2:50 left to go in the first quarter. No score yet. Pankratz will start under center.
Looked like there was early motion on that.
I thought I saw early motion from both sides of the defensive line, but no flag on the play. Ran on the play again by number 12, Austin Bueller.
Gain of about 5 yards, almost 6 yards on that. So nice little play, nice little gain on first down.
So we haven't seen the end zone or a field goal yet from either team. Coming up to 2 minutes left in the first quarter. Pankratz back and will hand off. Nope, fakes the pass. Looks for his receiver on the right side, number 1, Hunter Nielsen. But just outside of his reach.
Looks like Steinbach sending in their punt team. Again, if I'm Kelvin, I'm going to realize that, or prepare for Bueller, the running back, who's also the punter. He can obviously take off with it at any time. Seems like coaches are giving him a green light. With 3rd and about 4, 3rd and about 5, it's not a bad spot to, again, try a fake.
Fairly big young man too there, Greg. And had some good speed to the outside there.
Yeah, he's got good wheels.
So kicking off to number 13 from Kelvin. Kicks it to the side, picked up on the play by 13. Will drop it, but will get it and then start to head up to the field. Tackled on the play to get up to about the 15-yard line. Tackled on the play by number 4, Shikoi Salon.
Great downfield coverage by Steinbach on that. Really only got a couple yards on a return on that.
So Kelvin would take over 1st and 10 from their own 16-yard line. And we are still looking for our first score this game. Daniels in the shotgun. 5 receivers to his right side.
Hit hard.
Tackled on the play pretty quickly is number 21 from Kelvin.
Trackless with the carry. Really good job here. He was hit hard right through the hole, kept his feet going, good balance, and pushed forward to make sure he got a positive yards after first initial contact.
So about a gain of 2. Daniels will continue in the shotgun with 1 back to his right side. This time he will keep himself up, but pitch out to his back, who will find a bit amount of room up the middle, but not enough for the first down. Probably gain of about 5 yards.
Hit hard by number 43 from Steinbach. Riley Dirksen.
So that will put them in a 3rd and 2 situation, but it appears that Kelvin will continue to try to move this ball.
Well, Kelvin's calling timeout here. It's 3rd down and about 2, and Kelvin's calling a timeout.
Well, it would have been interesting to see for them to try to get that so deep in their own territory.
Looks like they're sending on their punt team. So 9 seconds left in the first quarter here. Just a reminder to our viewers that coming up a little bit later on this evening at 7:30 we have the Yanovitz Bowl. That has St. Paul's Crusaders versus Vincent Massey Trojans. It's a replay from last year's Yanovitz Bowl where Vincent Massey took the championship 22-12 over St. Paul's.
So Kelvin gets ready to punt off with number 90, Jim Emery taking the punt. 1 player back for two players back to receive. Good kick by Jawan. Knocked down on the play and picked up by number 4, who will find some room. Then jumps over top of the player, but tackled on the play at number 50. Nice play by number 4 from Steinbach. Nice play by Shikoi Salant from Steinbach to make something happen there. Well, that was the play that ended the first quarter, and still no score between Kelvin and Steinbach, but what a fantastic play. We got a great view of it right in front of us, Greg.
You don't see that every day. Obviously, such an athletic play like that out of high school football players is outstanding, obviously.
So Steinbach will take over Kelvin's 51-yard line, 1st and 10 to start off the second quarter, and from heading to the outside, and we'll find some room. Number 4 again will get down, and we'll get a gain of about 13, 14 yards. Check that, a gain of about 18 yards. Great run by number 4.
Shikoi Salant.
Who's our young man who just jumped over top of the 1st and 10 from the 31-yard line of Kelvin. Steinbach is now moving the ball and getting closer to scoring range. Pankratz continues in the shotgun and hands off to his running back number 12, Bueller. Tackled immediately on the play for a gain of maybe a yard.
Good job for by the Kelvin defensive line to stack up that O-line.
So 2nd and 8, they give him 2 yards on that one. 2nd and 8 from the 29-yard line of Kelvin.
First time a team's approaching the red zone here, Brian.
Pankratz continues to work from the shotgun with his back behind him. And he will look to his right side deep, and he's got a receiver wide open, but out of bounds. And I think he would have missed the ball anyway, but did have a receiver open down the sidelines. That will make it 3rd and 8.
Pankratz is having a little bit of trouble finding the range. He's had a couple guys open, but hasn't been able to connect the dot yet.
So Steinbach will go for this from the Kelvin 29-yard line. This time he looks to his left side to a receiver. It's thrown up in the air, but it's almost intercepted, but dropped on the play by number 30 of Kelvin.
Neil Santos.
But Kelvin will take over on downs. We do have a flag on the play.
That would have been Santos' 2nd interception.
We're just waiting for the flag on the play, but it appears that Kelvin will take over on downs.
Offside Kelvin. Get a 2nd shot here.
Well, I'm sure a little disappointing for Kelvin when they had made such a good play to take that ball in interception, or at least knock it down, and gives the ball right back to Steinbach, who will now have another chance to keep the ball moving and maybe score. Pankratz lines up under center this time. Hands off to his running back Bueller to the left side, who will find some room to get himself down to about the 8-yard line. Flag on the play.
Nice little run. That flag could indicate a couple different things. Could be holding or a face mask or something along those lines. We'll have to wait and see what the ref has to say.
Holding against Steinbach, so that will come back. A nice play.
So the question is, will it be after yards gained? Because the flag came out fairly late.
It did come out late, so we'll see. Although it looks like Steinbach's marching.
After yards gained, holding Steinbach, 10-yard penalty, 1st down.
Yeah, so after yards gained means the running back had passed the 1st down marker when the holding occurred, so it'd be 1st down for Steinbach.
So that gives Steinbach a 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line of Kelvin. Pankratz starts under center and hands again to his running back Bueller, who will find some room up the middle and get about a gain of 8-9 yards at least. Tackled just short of the 10-yard line.
Kelvin had about 8 guys up on the line of scrimmage, crowding 7 guys up in the box, crowding the line of scrimmage on that, and Bueller almost was able to score on that.
Found some room to the right side and then cutting back into the middle again, Greg.
Ball's on the 11-yard line.
They're giving a 1st down on that one, so 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line.
Steinbach can get a 1st down before scoring a touchdown here.
First team within the red zone tonight. Pankratz is under center. Again, hands off to Bueller, who will get up to about the 5-yard line, maybe 6-yard line.
Bueller looks to be a type of running back, the more you hand the ball off to him, the stronger he gets. He's running really hard and really well.
His line seems to be doing a good job of making some room for him too, which helps. They can continue to chip away. They'll get themselves down close to scoring range. So, 2nd and 5 from the 6-yard line. Pankratz sexes a pass, finds a wide open, and in goes for the score.
Touchdown, number 2.
Number 2, Eric Adams from Steinbach scores on the first touchdown to open the scoring this afternoon, or this evening, pardon me. 8:02 left in the 2nd quarter, and we finally have something on our scoreboard.
You know, Brian, that's what happens when you have such an effective run game. Obviously, that's after the run. Everybody think they're handing the ball off to Bueller, and they think they're running the other receiver out the other side, wide open for a beautiful touchdown.
7-0 Steinbach to open it up. Now we wait for the point after. 10. So point after is good.
Eric
Make-
Adams
you
scored a
score
touchdown and kicked the convert to make it 7-0. Well, I'm interested to see how Kelvin responds. Again, they've had a few turnovers on downs and stuff like that. Kelvin seems to not get into an offensive rhythm just yet, so look for Kelvin to come out and establish either run or pass here.
So with 8:02 left in the second quarter, 7-0 Steinbach. We'll be kicking off to Kelvin, who are going to look to try to get something going, as you said, Greg. That last series kind of kept going by that penalty because the ball was intercepted. There we are, kickoff. Picked up number 13 from Kelvin, who finds some room to the right side and get up to about the 45-yard line, 44-yard line. And that's where Kelvin will start this series with a 7:56 left.
Nice little return. That's good field position for Kelvin to start off with. Their own 43-yard line.
One thing I will say about the Investors Group field, that once you get inside of it, you don't feel the wind. There was sure windy coming into this building this evening.
Yeah, looking at the flags, there's very little air movement right now.
So Daniels will start in the shotgun with the receivers all to his left. Right through the hands of his receiver, number 80, Brock Gates. 2nd and 10 from the 43-yard line, and Kelvin needs to get something going here.
You know, Daniels had a nice little throw. Just receiver just maybe felt or heard footsteps coming behind him and maybe turned a little too quick.
Right through his hands. Could have had it. Regardless, 2nd and 10. We'll continue with all of his receivers to his left side. Offside Kelvin, who were waiting for somebody probably forgot the snap count on that one, as we will do this one over.
Let's see what the Zebras come up with on this one.
Legal procedure, Kelvin number 61. Repeat second down.
Kelvin called in the illegal procedure, so that will push them back.
Well, puts them in a bind here, 2nd and 15. Again, we're looking for Kelvin to establish either run or pass, get their offense on track here.
So Daniels continues the shot back, again with all of his receivers to his left side. Looks downfield for his receiver, but it's almost intercepted by Steinbach. And I'll tell you, if he had that ball, he might have gone all the way.
Dakota Funk with the play on that, number 42. We're just looking at the replay on the Jumbotron here, and just a little bit overthrown. I think Daniels was kind of focused on that receiver, and the DB on that play, actually I think it was Riley Dirksen, was able to read the quarterback's eyes and come up and make that play.
So that makes it a 3rd and 15 from the 38-yard line of Kelvin. So Jerron Emery will punt the ball away. It gets a good kick, picked up at about the 38, but right through the hands of the kick returner, and who will be tackled immediately, and even for a bit of a loss, by number 61 from Kelvin, Josh Ariza.
Excellent effort by Ariza on that play to hustle downfield and make that nice tackle.
So the Sabres will start at about the 33-yard line. 1st and 10, 6:39 left in the second quarter, up 7-0.
Well, we're gonna look for Austin Bueller to continue his running, and we'll see if Kelvin can stop him here.
So Pankratz in the shotgun, hands off to Bueller as you called, and finds some room to the left side, but picked up on the tackle. Gets about 4 or 5 yards out of that one. Second and 6 on the play. Ball on the 36-yard line. Pankratz pitches it into the inside to number 4, pardon me, who will try to push forward for the first down, but I think they're going to call him just a little bit short. It'll be up to see. Steinbach wants to go for this. They're about a yard out. And they're going to call it in for a measurement, but I'm looking down the field from what I can see. It looks like it's about a yard short, guys.
It's going to be close. Here comes the chain gang. We'll find out.
What would you do right here, Greg?
Well, I wait for the measurement. If it's about a foot, usually you can get a foot or two. But again, it depends where you want to go for it. Well, obviously, this is in Steinbach territory. You'd hate to have a turnover at this point.
Looking at what Kelvin's doing, I think they're anticipating that Steinbach's going to go for it. And I can almost tell you right away, they are a bit short. Yeah, they're almost a full yard short.
Well, they're talking to the quarterback and sending in Pankratz with a play, so it looks like they're going.
And that's what Kelvin's anticipating also. So, 3rd and 1. Pankratz lines up under center, trying to keep this drive going. Hands the ball off to number 12, Bueller, who will find more than enough for the first down and will continue up to about the 49-yard line. Ends up getting 6 or 7 yards out of it, so that will easily keep this drive going.
First down, Steinbach. Again, nice little run. Obviously, Bueller's an experienced running back. He's got both hands covering the ball, making sure that there's no turnover. Nice job by Steinbach's O-line on that.
Hands off again to Bueller, who will go to the left side and find a bit of a gap and will be brought down after a gain of about 13 yards to about the 47-yard line of Kelvin. Great run on the play by Bueller.
You can see that Steinbach's game plan here is a lot of Bueller, left and right, up the middle. Obviously with their offensive line, Steinbach's offensive line looks to be a little bit bigger than Kelvin's D-line, so I think the game plan here is just to wear down Kelvin.
You're right, Greg. I think they're overwhelming him enough. He sure seems to be finding those gaps, between the left and right sides. And he will go back to Bueller, but this time he will be caught right away. 66 slowed him down, but didn't finish the tackle, but enough to stop him, a gain of maybe a yard.
66, Justin James did a great job, grade 12 defensive tackle, penetrating upfield. I guess I spoke a little too early about Steinbach's offensive line dominating Kelvin's D-line.
Well, maybe he heard you, Greg.
I think so.
Said enough of that.
I jinxed them.
So this will be 2nd and 10. They're not actually giving them any gain on this one, so Pankratz will go in the shotgun. And he will look to pass downfield and look for his receiver. Intercepted on the play by Kelvin, who will be down immediately.
Number 5.
Number 5 from Kelvin. Great interception, great read on the football.
Great job by the free safety, number 5 for Kelvin. Just sitting back there playing center field. Obviously, they're going for the post there pattern to number 4, Shikoy Salent. And, number 5, Nigel Hira, just sitting back there playing center field, obviously coming up with the play.
So another turnover. We've seen a number of them today. Gives Kelvin the ball back, and they will push the 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line. And now looking downfield is Daniels for his receiver, number 80, but over his head. They are continue to overload their receivers to one side, Greg.
That was a great play by the defensive corner there. Tyler Burkett had great coverage on that, and really, I think the quarterback there, Daniels, was just kind of throwing it away. He had a little bit of pressure on him. The receiver wasn't really open, so he just kind of threw it over top of him.
So that will make it 2nd and 10 from the 25-yard line of Kelvin. The refs are conferring about something. So with just under 3 minutes going in the second quarter, just getting ready for the half. Again, they continue with the receivers all on one side of the field and almost intercepted on the play, knocked up in the air. I think the receivers were getting a little bit crossed in terms of who should be getting that ball, and it got tipped up in the air and almost intercepted by Steinbach.
Almost a great interception. Just looking at the replay here on the Jumbotron, you can see that number 9 and 13 were almost fighting. Both Kelvin players were almost fighting for the ball there. So I think coach is going to have a little talk with the receivers about what patterns they're running. Usually they're not that close together.
So we'll see number 90, Jerwan Emery, again out to punt the ball for Kelvin. And another decent kick down the field. Will skip at about the mid-yard line, picked up on the play at about the 43-yard line, and outside by number 44 from Steinbach. Pushed out of bounds at about the 52, 53-yard line of Kelvin.
Great tackle by number 61, Ariza. Again, he's making a special teams play. That's a great job for a grade 12 player.
So fielded on the play by Graham Cruz.
2:32 left in the second quarter here, 7-0. We've had about rough count here of about 5 turnovers in this first half so far.
Steinbach will start from the 48-yard line of Kelvin, 1st and 10. Pankratz hands the ball off, pitches it to number 4, again, who's seen the ball a lot today. Shekoy Salent will get about 7 or 8 yards on this play.
He's a pretty explosive player. Obviously, he's the one who had a nice jump over another player, and I think they're using him fairly well here. Just to change it up here and give a different look to the Kelvin defense.
Some good speed for sure that helps him get that kind of yardage on these plays, because the Kelvin coverage was coming in pretty quickly. But he managed to get himself around it.
He's only in grade 11, so look for him to have a big year next year.
So we're waiting for the measurement on this play. As it turned out, it was closer to 10 yards. And it looks to me, from what I can see sitting up here, that they should have it, but it will be close. It's first down. So they will continue this march from the 37, 38-yard line of Kelvin with 2:26 left in the second quarter. 1st and 10. Pankratz steps over, hands off to Bueller, his reliable running back, who will find some room, but there's a flag on the play. 2 flags down on the play. Pretty sure this one's coming back, and the referee is already indicating holding against Steinbach, so this will come back. So we'll wait to hear for about the second call.
Steinbach, number 55, with 4 yards a gain. 10-yard penalty, first down.
I think both referees saw the same hold on that.
All right, so 1 penalty on the play. 2 flags, but 1 penalty. So that will push them back 10 yards. 1st and 20 from the 47-yard line of Kelvin with 2:11 to go in second quarter. You got to know that Kelvin doesn't want them to score just before the half, Greg.
Well, look for Kelvin to come up with a big play here. 1st and 10, maybe Steinbach might be thinking screen or draw or something along those lines.
Pankratz dropped his back to pass, but will pitch it up in the middle, but is dropped on the play, but picked up again by number 4, Salon, who will try to find some room on the left side, but is tackled on the play. Fumbled on the play. Did Steinbach recover? It appears that they have.
No, they're calling Kelvin.
Check that. Kelvin. Turnover. So Kelvin will get the ball back with 1:58 left in the second quarter.
I think the referees are going to call it an incomplete pass. that should have been, that is a shovel pass or a forward pass. Ball had fallen on the ground, so I think the refs are conferring and they're calling it an incomplete pass.
When I originally saw that, it appeared to me like it would have been a forward pass, but the play was allowed to continue. So that being said, 2nd and 20 from the 47-yard line. Steinbach continues with the ball. Pankratz goes back to pass and looks downfield. Ball's thrown up and almost intercepted. Number 5 from Kelvin had a better chance at the ball than the receiver from Steinbach did.
Pass intended for 82, Jordan Brunel. Just a little overthrown again. Nice job for Kelvin to force him into a 2nd and long, and good defense.
Kelvin's safety, Nigel Hira, definitely had a better shot at the ball than the Steinbach receiver did. So that makes this now 3rd and 20, and Steinbach will be punting. First time in a while that we've actually seen them make a punt or attempt a punt. Good kick into the right corner, and it will bounce down and land at about the 10-yard and will go all the way into the end zone. Picked up on the play by number 13 from Kelvin, who will try and run with it, but appears will be tackled in the end zone.
Oh, here's a point for Steinbach. As a coach, you're always kind of a little worried when a kid picks it up and starts running around, and all it takes is for one little quick pop or fumble, and that could have been a touchdown for the other team. So
definitely a Steinbach bounce on that play too, as it landed close to the side, but actually bounced it back into play. So
well, good job by Steinbach to make sure that they weren't within the 5 yards and take a no yards penalty. So nice job.
Good kick. So now Kelvin will take over from their 35-yard line, 1st and 10 with 1:36 left in the 2nd quarter, down 8-0. Taken on a slap by the play, Daniels tries to move the ball upfield, but will be contained. Gain of about 3-4 yards.
Nice job by Steinbach defense just to prevent the pitch there in number 44, make sure that the quarterback doesn't pitch it out, and good job by 54 there to come up and make the tackle.
4 receivers out to his right side, but he will keep it himself and try to make something happen, get a gain of about 2 yards maybe, as he runs to his right side.
Good job by Steinbach's defense. They're flowing to the ball really well. Overall, they have a really nice defense with good team speed. You can see the D-line is penetrating and flowing. Linebackers are flowing up, making that play. So just over a minute left. It's 8-0 for Steinbach.
So with 3rd and 4, Steinbach appears to be setting up again for a field goal formation with 1 receiver to their kicker's left side, waiting for the referees to blow it in. Not sure what we're holding for. We're hearing that what they're trying to do is get the clocks set to reset to 116. They reset the clock to 116, but now we've reset it to 109. So we'll get started here in a second.
So again, with Kelvin lining up, at their own 33-yard line to kick a field goal, in a lot of situations, field goal kicking is a little bit more accurate than punting. Oh, and they're running a fake.
And he will look down and find an open receiver. Caught on the play by number 10 from Kelvin. Nice play, nice catch. So caught on the play by Eric Urbanowicz thrown to on the play by number 9 from Kelvin,
Eric Matthews.
Eric Matthews.
A little bit of trickery. Again, you have to be prepared for anything out of Kelvin.
Well, when they're lining up in a field goal formation, you just never know what's going to happen. So 1st and 10 from the 45-yard line of Steinbach. Kelvin continues to move the ball. So Daniels will take the ball, and he will look down for another pass out to his right side, but will throw it over the head of his receiver. Sorry, his receiver was downfield. In fact, once again, a Steinbach defensive back had a better chance of that ball than the Kelvin receiver did.
Looked like that the pass was held up a little bit with a little bit of the breeze coming in. Just in the last 5 minutes or so, you can see the breeze is picking up a little bit in the stadium here, swirling a little bit.
So 2nd and 10 from the 45-yard line. Kelvin takes a snap again with all of his receivers to his right side. Daniels pitches out to his right to number 13, who will be tackled with a gain of about 4 or 5 yards.
Great tackle on the play by number 31, Evan Reimer. Good job to come up, and I remember earlier in the game the Steinbach coaches yelling at their DBs to drive forward. That was a great job by Reimer to come up and make that play.
Good catch on the play by Assad Sharif.
So 3rd and 5 from the 40-yard line.
Just moved past the 22nd mark. And Daniels keeps the ball and looks to try and get up and does get the first down, moves to his right and finds some room, gets down to about the 27-yard line, 28-yard line. Great move by Daniels to make something happen there. We'll keep the ball. 6 seconds left in the 2nd quarter. So basically enough time for one play. Kelvin will take a timeout just before the half for their last play and to decide what they're going to do. What do you think? What do you see happening here?
Well, look into the playbook, and whatever comes up, whatever play you have that's designed to gain 30 yards and score a touchdown is what you'd call right about now. So,
well, we've seen them, pack their receivers to one side pretty regularly over the last few series. But Daniels himself has made things happen, and of course the one catch by Sharif just a minute ago, but they got 29 yards to go to the goal line and 6 seconds to do it.
For Steinbach, you want to make sure that nothing gets behind you. You want to keep everything in front of you. It's the last play of the quarter likely, so you want to give up something in front of you, but not deep behind you.
And as you can see, they've got 2 safeties or 2 defensive backs well back closer to the goal line, anticipating that long throw. So Daniels will look to his left and throw it up high, and it will be intercepted and picked off on the play and brought down by the Kelvin at about the 8-yard line. Fumble on the play by picked up by
intercepted by Steinbach, and then fumbled and picked up by number 90 on Kelvin. Smart head up play by the Steinbach player to drive him out of bounds before he could reach into the end zone.
What is close to the end zone as Kelvin has been able to get to it.
Here's the replay on this. Nice deep pass, intercepted by the tight leading numbers. 21 from Steinbach, a little bit of a fumble. And fortunately for Steinbach, they're able to drive the number 90 Emery
Peters, and I was just wondering what you were going to tell your team to maintain your win in the next half.
Coach Peters
we just got to take care of the football and let our defense continue doing what they're doing. Kelvin's having a rough time against our squad, and we just got to make sure we're flying around and making some plays. And we got to get a little bit more from our offense, and we just got to make sure we calm down and make some plays. There's plays to be made out there, and the boys just got to relax and go and make them. It should be a great second half.
Solid plan, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and we will be back right after a short intermission.
Well, folks, thanks for coming back. We're going to take a bit of a break right now and come back to you in about 8 minutes, 9 minutes for the second half of the game between Kelvin and Steinbach, with Kelvin up 8-0 in the first of these bowl games this evening at the Investors Group Field, up 8-0, and looking to see if they can carry that into the second half and win the CTV Bowl. So we'll be back in about 8 minutes.
Welcome back to the live broadcast of Kelvin versus Steinbach. I'm here with Coach John Ramu of Kelvin, and I was wondering what you told your team to pump them up in the next half.
That we've been down before. All three of our wins in a row, we've been down at half, and the guys have to come out and believe. We have to find a way to get some offense going, get the ball to our playmakers in some space, and defense keep doing what they're doing. They're forcing turnovers, and just get some offense, flip the field a little bit in our favor, and then tie this up, hopefully.
Sounds like a solid plan to me. Good luck, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, and now I'm going to throw it up to Brian Cameron and Greg Kiesman for the rest of the game.
Second half, folks, as we continue with the CTV Bowl this afternoon, or this evening from Investors Group Field, between the Kelvin Clippers and the Steinbach Sabres. Steinbach up 8-0. Pretty good half for the most part of the start. Both teams moving the ball back and forth. A lot of turnovers, though, Greg.
Yeah, we have, unofficially, we have, 2 interceptions by Kelvin, 2 fumble recoveries by Kelvin, and Steinbach had 1 interception right at the end of the half, and they forced Kelvin to turn the ball over twice on downs. So as Coach Ramu had mentioned, he's looking for his troop to come out and put the ball in the playmaker hands, and hopefully Kelvin can get on the board for their perspective.
Yeah, really looking to get his offense going. And he says his defense is playing fine, but making some things happen. But he needs his playmakers from his offense to get going.
Of course, Coach Peters is telling his kids to keep up the good effort. They've been here twice before and lost, and now they're here. They're up 8-0, and just play solid football for the remainder of this half.
And playing well for the most part. Now Steinbach will receive for this half. A kickoff by Joanne Emery again will push the ball down the field and picked up on about the 15-yard line by Steinbach, who will find some room up the middle. Number 4 from Steinbach gets it all the way up to about the 45-yard line for a great return to start the second half.
72 Dylan Hess on that touchdown saving tackle.
Nice run by Shikoi Salant, though. Gets them up into a great starting position. So they're starting at about the 44-yard line.
He's had an awesome first half and starts off second half with a great kick return.
Great speed. Good start to make something happen there. So 1st and 10 from the 44-yard line. Steinbach looking down the field, and I'll tell you, Greg, that wind is picking up. Pankratz hands off to Bueller, the reliable running back he's had all game so far, and will get at least 10 yards.
Referees are blowing a whistle there. I think the ball popped out after the whistle.
Yeah, they're giving the ball back to the ball will remain with Steinbach. So 10-11-yard gain on that one. So starting at the 54-yard line of Kelvin.
Number 10, Eric Urbanovich on the tackle there. Urbanovich is a synonymous name with Bison football. Jerry and Rich. Jerry played Bison football, and Rich is a defensive back coach with U of M Bisons.
Definitely some football history there. So Pankratz will hand the ball off, and it will run to his right side, but nowhere to be gained. Maybe half a yard on the play.
Good job by the Kelvin defense to string that play out and keep a good angle of pursuit to make that tackle.
So they're giving him about a yard gain on that play. That was not Bueller who carried the ball. I'm trying to see who that was.
Again, for our viewers, Steinbach has black uniforms with a black number with a yellow highlight around the number, so it's making it a little bit tough for us to read the number up here in the booth.
Injury on the play, a Kelvin player down on the far side of the field, so that we got a timeout. Going back to what we said a few minutes ago, Greg, Kelvin needs to get their offense going.
Yeah, they've had a little bit of trouble identifying or getting an identity on their offense. Obviously, they have some very talented players, but they're just not on track here. Like Coach Ramu says, they want to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers to make something happen. So, obviously, with Steinbach in control at 8-0, they're going to probably try to run the ball as much as possible and grind that clock down.
Lots of football time left for both teams, though.
And again, that wind's starting to pick up out of the north, and we got a game later on tonight. It's the Anovitz Bowl. The Anovitz Bowl crowns the WHSFL champion for the year. We'll see the St. Paul's Crusaders, who are undefeated this year at 7-0, taking on the Vincent Massey Trojans, who are 6-1. The two teams met earlier this year in week 1 with St. Paul's winning 22-12. Pardon me, 21-20.
Yeah,
back in 2015, the Yanovitz Bowl was 22-12 for Vincent Massey.
Number 30 from Kelvin injured on the play and slowly coming off the field, and we hope that he's okay. That would be Neil Santos.
He had an interception earlier in the first half, so obviously we'll see if Steinbach's going to go towards his side of the field with the pass. Or
looks a little hard. We'll see if we see him back in the game again. So then Steinbach takes over, 2nd and 10 from the 54-yard line. Almost fumbled on the play by Pankratz, who looked down the field to his receiver, but intercepted on the play by Kelvin. By number 6, who will take the ball at the 37-yard line. Great read on the play.
Ethan Lamb with the interception on that.
That might be just the thing that Coach Romo needs to get his offense going again. Great play.
That's kind of what we thought would happen, right? With the starting quarterback comes out and they're going to go right after his backup, and great job by the Kelvin defender Lamb come over and make that play.
So they will take over from their 36-yard line, 1st and 10.
Come out a little bit more of a balanced attack here. They got 2 receivers on each side,
as opposed to having them loaded to one side, which they spent a lot of the first half doing. But they will go to running play to the left side of the quarterback, and he will get about 7 or 8 yards on the play. Running on the play was number 21, Silas Trachillis. We've heard his name a few times today.
It was a nice little run. Obviously, he's got a little bit of quickness getting out to the outside there. Put his shoulder down, did a nice job keeping really good balance there, and just, again, be the hammer, not the nail, and make some positive yards.
Giving him about 7 yards, so 2nd and 3. They will give it right back to him, and he will find more room on the left side. Continue runs up, and he gets about another 7, 8 yards on the play, so that will be a 1st down for Kelvin.
So obviously some adjustments out of Kelvin. They come out a little bit more of a balanced offense. They have 2 receivers on either side rather than loading it up on one side. And running behind that left side of that offensive line, they're firing out hard.
So 1st and 10 from their own 52-yard line, moving the ball fairly well. Calvin Daniels takes the ball and hands it off, and he will keep it himself and fake to the left side. Tackled on the play after gain of about 5 yards, but nice fake on the play. So 2nd and 5 now, moving it onto the Steinbach side of the field. We'll start from the 53-yard line, or scrimmage from the 53-yard line. Daniels hands off again to number 21, who will push up and continue to gain about 3 yards. Will be short of the 1st down. So we'll see what Kelvin is looking at to keep this play going, but
looks like almost 2 yards there.
And they're not looking to bring a punter in at all, so they will go for this at 3rd and 2 from the 50-yard line. Daniels lines up under center and will keep it himself and push forward, but a flag on the play.
Quick count on that.
We'll see the call from the referees.
Looks like he had enough yards to gain 1st down. We'll wait and see what the penalty call is here.
Procedure, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Procedure against Kelvin, pushes that ball back, so that will cost them 5 yards. So what was a 3rd and 2 now becomes a 3rd and 7.
Well, Kelvin's not sending in a punt team, so it looks like they're going to be going for it.
They're going to continue. The ball is at the midfield stripe. Daniels back in the shotgun, and they have the receivers balanced. And he will look to throw downfield. Finds a receiver up at about the 52-yard line.
Looks like he's got enough yards for a 1st down.
Pardon me, about the 47-yard line.
Number 81 for Kelvin.
And it appears to us they do have a first down. They will keep the ball moving. Nice throw by Daniels.
Noel Bumstead with the reception on that first down. That's a great play on 3rd and 7.
Keeps the ball moving for Kelvin. So 1st and 10 from the 46-yard line of Steinbach.
I sure like the adjustments that Kelvin's made at halftime to come out and move that ball.
Daniels hands off again to 21 as running back, but won't find much room right up the middle this time. Maybe a gain of about 2 yards.
Again, Daniels, grade 12 quarterback. He's going to show some experience, obviously, because he's played in a variety of different situations throughout his career at Kelvin. Look for him to be a real leader here coming down into the 3rd and 4th quarter.
So 2nd and 8. Daniels will hand off again to the reliable, his running back, who's gone back to cut into the middle, but then back to his right side, and we'll find lots of room. Flag on the play, away from the run. So it will be interesting to see this call.
Wow, talk about cutback. Nice little run by Trakelis to pick a hole and obviously go back against the flow.
So we're waiting for the call on this one, which was well away from the running play.
Looks like it's holding against Kelvin, but it will see if
block,
it's after
Kelvin,
yards
number
gained.
80, after yards were gained.
So you
Your first down.
After the yards gained. So 1st down. Great run by Trakelis.
So it's going to be 1st down for Kelvin, basically at the original line of scrimmage. But you'll see the replay here. You can see that there's a great little running back. He's got some quickness and able to cut back and keep the defense off balance.
So 1st and 10 from the 45-yard line. Kelvin continues. Hands off again to Trakelis, who this time is contained almost right away by Steinbach.
21 on the tackle, Tyler Bucket. Nice little job, great tackle. Again, tackling is all about technique, but it's also about heart and desire to make sure that you make that tackle.
Well, 2nd and about 9 or 8. 2nd and 8 they're calling from the 43-yard line. Daniels back to pass and looks downfield, but knocked down on the play by Steinbach. Good read, good watching on the play to get the hands up in front of that ball.
Number 99, Hyde Rickard deflected that. Obviously, as a D-line coach, you want to tell your guys to get upfield and try to make the sack, and if you can't get there, put your mid up in the air. You never know if you'll knock it down. So good job on that play by the defensive end for Steinbach.
Now, we do see that Kelvin does have their kicker, number 90, Joanne Emery, out again.
Lining up into a punt formation, but you always have to be wondering what they're going to be pulling here. Well,
they are kicking. Down and into the corner. Picked up on the play by Steinbach, who will continue to his left side toward their left side of the field. Tackled at about the 25-yard line by picked up on the play by number 44. Graham Cruz. So Steinbach will take over after what was a reasonable series by Kelvin.
Yeah, you know, Coach Ramu has to be happy with how his team has come out in the 3rd quarter here. They've gotten a couple first downs. They've been running the ball with some authority. Nice little pass on 3rd and 7 to convert a first down. Again, penalties in high school football can really slow down or even stop a momentum and a drive. So, you know, obviously Kelvin's going to be looking to get a turnover here in Steinbach zone and give their ball back to their offense.
Good point on that holding call too, because it was a great play by Kelvin to get themselves down almost into the red zone and it taken away from them.
And really, the flag was thrown well away from where the play was taking place.
So Steinbach will start from their 25-yard line, 1st and 10. Just past under 5 minutes left in this 3rd quarter. Pankratz will keep the ball and draw up to the middle. Tackled after getting about 7-8 yards. Get up to about the 31-32 yard line. They're giving them close to the 32-yard line.
Nice little run by the quarterback there, and obviously, you know, the defensive coordinator for Kelvin's telling the kids, make sure that you wrap up, but also the second guy in, try to rip the ball out and get the ball back.
Hadn't seen too many runs by Pancrats this game, so maybe they weren't expecting that. So 2nd and 3. Pardon me, we're checking that.
Bueller's in the quarterback.
We got Bueller in the quarterback for Pancrats. But he will be sacked on the play, well behind the play.
Good job by Urbanovic to seal the deal on that one. He's able to come off the edge there and make the play.
Big play for Kelvin, and now when they get the ball back, they will get themselves some reasonable field position.
You gotta wonder what Steinbach had in store there. They had moved Pancrats out to receiver and moved Bueller back into quarterback. So interesting development. Kelvin should get decent field position out of this.
That ended up being a 5-yard loss on the play, so it's 3rd and 15. Steinbach is punting. Kick is out. Not a great kick from Steinbach. Picked up on the play by number 13 from Kelvin, who will find some room and continues down the right side and is tackled or hit on the play at about the 15-yard line of Steinbach. Great run inside, finishing inside the red zone of Steinbach is Kelvin's number 13, Assad Sharif.
Great play for Kelvin here, obviously putting them inside the red zone. Basically, that was a net yard 0 punt for Steinbach with the return there.
Yeah, Greg, that's about where they gave the ball up. So
a little bit of momentum switch here, Brian.
Yep. Kelvin will take over 1st and 10 from the Steinbach 15-yard line. Daniels passed the ball inside again to number 21, who will find some room up the middle, about 6-7 yards. Appears to be tackled about the 8-yard line.
Trackless is really running with authority there. He hit that hole really hard. Obviously, Kelvin's pretty fired up. O-liner driving hard here.
And you got to think they don't want to walk away from this one empty-handed. Daniels takes the snap and again goes to Trachillis, but this time he's met right away. Almost no gain on this one. Started off 2nd and 2, but I don't know if he got much, if any. They're giving him about another half yard, it looks like. So they continue to be, it's 3rd and 1. Kelvin will go for it.
Again, they can get a first down before scoring a touchdown here, so Kelvin just needs to concentrate on getting another set of downs.
Daniels in the shotgun. Keeps it himself and looks to throw. And is knocked down. Turnover on downs for Kelvin, who chose to pass the ball instead of run it.
Kelvin's bench is upset that there's no call on that play. They're calling for a flag for interference. Broke up by Austin Bueller on that play.
So Steinbach will take over on their own end zone, just outside their own end zone at about the 6-yard line.
Watching the replay, a little bit of early contact there, so Steinbach got away with a little bit of a pass interference there.
So they will take over regardless. 1st and 10 from their own 6-yard line, still up 8-0 with just under 2 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Looking to get themselves underneath from out of the shadow of their own goal, and Pancrats will keep the ball and go to his right side.
Which is Bueller.
Bueller took a direct snap or is in at quarterback.
Looks like they're running a little bit of wildcat there.
Seven-yard gain on the play. So 2nd and 3 from the 13-yard, and again a direct snap and heads up the field. Should be getting close to fumble on the play, but appears to be recovered by Steinbach.
Looks
We're
like
waiting for a
Steinbach's
call.
Yeah, it looks like Steinbach's retaining possession. Refs are calling for the chain gang to come on and do a measurement. Well, going back to that play, I'm sure Kelvin's wishing for instant replay or review. They probably would have thrown a flag on that one.
At the high school level, they don't have the benefit of instant replay. It appeared to us that maybe the defender got there a bit early, but regardless, the ball continued to be, it was turned over to Steinbach, who will now keep the ball, and it appears that it is a first down.
So with 50 seconds left in the third quarter here, Steinbach is getting a first down.
Gets them out of the shadow of their goal posts, which gives them a little bit of breathing room.
Looks like Bueller's still staying in at quarterback.
I was just about to say that, Greg. It appears he continues to play at quarterback and will hand off to hit a new running back this time. Trying to get that player's number.
Number 4, Salant.
So Salant is actually lined up at the running back for them.
I'm just scanning the Steinbach bench here, looking for.
No, I see Pankratz is on the field. And he's actually just going into the huddle now. He appears to be playing now as a receiver, and Bueller is taking over at quarterback. And Bueller will take a direct snap and run up to his right side, and will find lots of room and get all the way up to just about the 40-yard line. Great run by Bueller. Tackled on the play by number 66 from Kelvin.
Weston James on the tackle. So Pankratz is out there on the field. What he's doing is he's looking over to the Steinbach bench and taking on the play and then calling the play in the huddle. And looks like Bueller's going to run the show here at quarterback.
Well, that was the last play of the third quarter, but what a great way to finish for Steinbach, who gets themselves out of a deep hole. Great job to get the ball and turnover on downs, and now they've moved themselves quite a ways down the field. They will be at their own 40-yard line to start the fourth quarter, up 8-0 over Kelvin. And Bueller continues to play at quarterback. And he will hand off again to
number 4, Salant. Nice little run there. Looks like he's got enough for a first down.
Salant will continue to pick up that ball. And great run, great speed from Salant. First down on the play, so that will bring him up to just outside the 50-yard line. And Bueller will continue at quarterback. I'm not sure if I should expect to see Pankratz back in again. Things are working quite well for Steinbach right now. And he will take the ball again. He will run up the middle and find a bit of a room to the left side and will push all the way up for about 8 yards. It appears that maybe Steinbach is stepping away from the pass, Greg.
Well, again, when you're protecting the lead, and like I said, the wind is picking up here a little bit. So from their position, I think it's if you're not handing the ball off, there's less chance of a fumble. So direct snap to Bueller and make something happen with his legs.
And their line is making things work for them. So at 2nd and 1, they will keep moving. And again, Bueller will take the ball and move up at the middle and find lots of room. Tackle on the play after a gain of almost 20 yards there, 15 yards.
Wow, this drive started deep within their own territory. And now they've come all the way across midfield, and now they're at the Steinbach 33-yard line.
So I guess if it's working for you, why step away from it?
Don't fix it if it ain't broke.
So they will continue moving the ball. They're now at Kelvin's 33-yard line, 1st and 10. Just past the 10-minute mark of the fourth quarter. Bueller this time will continue, and he will find room to the left side of the line and will move up and get about 7-8 yards on the play.
I think Bueller's probably got about 60, 70 yards just on this one drive.
Well, haven't gotten a lot of directions other than that one play from Salant that I can recall off the top of my head. I might be wrong, but he's kept the ball for most of it. So 2nd and 3 from the 26-yard line of Kelvin. And Bueller continues to just run with the ball. This time met right away, though.
Great job, 66 and 52 looks like. Made a great job to limit those yards.
And 66 stays down on the field this time. I guess he got hit pretty hard.
Justin
so we'll
James,
have a bit of a timeout.
Justin James is injured Kelvin player.
So we'll step away for just a second here and talk about the next game tonight, Greg, which we want to remind our listeners and our viewers that if you're going to come back and join us for the final game tonight, the Anavet Cup, that we need you to go back to LRSD TV and select the other link to the broadcast stream. It will not be from this stream. You do have to switch over. And we are looking forward to a great match between Vincent Massey Collegiate and St. Paul's. Great way to finish the season for the Winnipeg High School Football League.
Again, it's going to be a great matchup. These two teams know each other well. They're both excellent teams. They have great athletes, well coached. These teams know each other. They know each other from last year's Anavet's Bowl, where Vincent Massey upset St. Paul's 22-12, winning. And obviously with Vincent Massey being the defending Anavet Bowl champions, they want to come in here and keep that momentum going. You know, St. Paul's has a strong tradition of winning. They're well coached. Stacey Daynard is the head coach there, and he's been at the helm there for over 20 years, so they know what to expect. They're going to be well prepared walking into the stadium.
Kelvin player remains down. Justin James, who was part of that tackle.
It's had a really good game for Kelvin, and obviously if he's out of the ball game, it's going to be a hit for that defensive line out of Kelvin. Nice scan of the fans here. You can see that there's some diehard shirtless Steinbach fans over there. I'm going to tell you that I'm wearing a couple coats. It is cooling off here at the Investors Group Field. So good for those guys over there. Hopefully they don't catch a cold.
I went and found my gloves, Greg.
Again, we've had Anavet's Bowl where this is actually pretty nice. I've experienced Anavet's Bowl where a few years ago is St. Paul's versus Grant Park, and it was about -20. And I remember one play there where the ball actually totally was deflated. So no complaints out of me for the temperatures here today.
So at least some good news. Justin James did walk off the field under his own steam, so we hope he'll be okay. Maybe we'll see him back again. So 3rd and 2, ball on the 25-yard line. Bueller continues at quarterback now and will take the snap and try to get his 2 yards, and will find that 2 yards, continues to push down the field and gets up to about the 10-yard line. Great push by Bueller.
Well, you're starting to see the grinding game out of Steinbach starting to take a toll on Kelvin's players. Some of the defensive players are a little slow getting up off the field, a little bit hurt, wounded a little bit here and there just because they're receiving instead of pitching on these plays.
1st and goal from the 10-yard line of Kelvin. Steinbach threatening to score and add to their 8-0 lead.
Looks like Pankrat's back at quarterback.
Pankratz is in the quarterback now and hands off to Bueller. He will go all the way and will push in for the touchdown.
Wow, what a great series for Bueller. Basically walked them all the way down, or ran them all the way down from the shadow of their own goal line to score a touchdown. Beautiful double.
14-0 with 7:50 left in the quarter for Steinbach. Great series for them. Great series for Bueller, who basically was the one-man show all the way down, except for 1 or 2 plays here. Took the ball himself.
Very dominant. I'm gonna say this could possibly be the player of the game here for Steinbach.
So point after could make it 15-0 here, but it is 14-0 with 7:50 left. So, convert is good. Oh, 7:50 left in the fourth quarter. See, the third game that we've seen over the last 2 days, the CTV Bowl between Kelvin and Steinbach, has Steinbach up 15-0.
Last night we had Coach Don Burrell, who's the U18 provincial team coach. We had Jordy Wilson, who's the Winnipeg Rifles head coach here. Obviously, if they're in the house tonight, they're going to be pretty impressed with number 12 Bueller for Steinbach. He's a pretty dynamic, hard-running player.
Well, I would have to say that they'll be looking to speak with young Mr. Bueller. So Steinbach will be kicking off to Kelvin with 7:50 left in the fourth quarter, and Kelvin really needs to do something on this series. Get themselves back into this game again. We have seen them move the ball tonight, but again, kind of like what we saw yesterday for the second of our games, where the ball was moved quite a bit with often no scores. Tonight we are seeing them move the ball and no scores. So it's kicked off and gets past number 13 from Kelvin, and who will pick it up at about the 15, but will find some room and bring it back up to about the 32 yard line. Great recovery by number 13 from Kelvin, Assad Sharif. Ball skipped by him, but he manages to recover and make something out of this one.
So 7:42, time becomes a huge element for Kelvin, and of course they want to get rid of that goose egg, get some points on the board here.
So they will take over from their 31 yard line, 1st and 10. Daniels will take the ball back, and he will keep it himself and find nobody downfield, so he will run it and be pushed out of bounds at about the
late tackle on that
the
play.
36, 37 yard line, but flags fly. Definitely a late tackle outside the field, so there will be a roughing play on this one.
Get another 15 yards. Now Kelvin's just got to focus on getting back in the huddle, run the next play. They don't want to waste too much time. They don't want to get too wound up about that play. Refocus, reload, and run the next one.
And from Steinbach's perspective, not necessary to do that at this point in time in the game and give
unnecessary roughness. Steinbach, number 43.
Keep them moving and get
First down.
Get a score and close the gap that they've managed to build. So
yeah, you don't want to wake a sleeping giant.
No. So Kelvin would continue. They've moved the ball up to the 50 yard line. 1st and 10. Daniels looks to pass, and he will look deep down the field, but he's definitely thrown it over the head of his receiver out of bounds.
Receiver and quarterback weren't on the same page on that one.
I don't know if he would have been able to catch it anyway, Greg. It did land out of bounds, but.
Well, if you're Kelvin, what are you going to do now?
Well,
what are you going to be looking for?
I think they continue to try to spread things out and make something happen and make some room for either their running backs or their receivers. I did like the play call.
Again, Kelvin's back into more of a balanced set.
So Daniels will look downfield and he will throw it up again. He's got two receivers and it's caught on the, dropped on the play, almost caught on the play by his receiver.
Brock Gates on the play there, almost had a nice reception.
Would have been for about 25 yards, which really would have helped keep this momentum going that Kelvin has a little bit going.
So obviously we're into 3-down territory here with Kelvin down 15-0.
So 3rd and 10. Daniels in the shotgun. Almost guarantee you a throwing play here. And Steinbach is coming and will sack him behind the play for a loss of about 6 yards. You know, with that much to go and the ability and the trust in their defensive backs, You'd think Kelvin would have expected for sure to have a blitz coming there. So Steinbach will take over on downs inside Kelvin territory.
Well, I wonder if Pankratz will be back in at quarterback for Steinbach.
Well, and I think we can pretty much guarantee they will continue to do what's working for them, which is running the ball.
Bueller's back in it, lined up at quarterback, and I can hear the Steinbach coaches telling the players to stay focused, don't get too energized about this right now. There's still time on the clock for Kelvin to come back.
And Bueller will run the ball in gain of about 2 yards on the play. So they are expecting this from Kelvin now, and they should. Second and 8 from Kelvin's 42-yard line. And you know, you got to be thinking that Kelvin's got to stop him here.
Looks like Justin James is back in for Kelvin, so that's a good sign.
So Bueller keeps the ball, throws the ball for the first time that we've seen him, and looking for number 2 from Steinbach.
Eric Adams, the intended receiver. Obviously, Kelvin brought the house on that one, and Bueller didn't have a whole lot of time to set up and make that pass.
Pressure.
Great job by Kelvin defense just to get the ball back for their offense.
Pressure forced that pass and just over the head of his intended receiver, Eric Adams. And that brings up a 3rd and 8 situation, so Steinbach will be punting.
And of course, Bueller's their punter, so you know Kelvin has to play this honest and know that they could that he could still run for a first down here.
But he will punt, and looking to his left side,
looking for the coffin corner.
Heads into through the end zone.
Actually, a nice little punt, just a little bit too far into the end zone. But if he would have got it over one, that would have been a beautiful punt.
Sharif just not able to catch up to it, and it goes to the end zone. So that will add another point on the board to make the score 16-0 with 4:41 left in the 4th quarter of the Winnipeg High School Football CTV Bowl. So Kelvin will start 1st and 10 from their own 35-yard line, down 16 points. And Daniels is being pressured. Screen play to him, and inside and finding some room and up the middle is a receiver, or sorry, not the receiver.
It's a running back, Trackless.
Good play. That should give them a first down, I believe.
Great call by Kelvin offensive coordinator to run the screen on first down.
Looks
Moving
like
the chains.
Looks like they were expecting the blitz on that one, and that's what they were able to play it well. So 1st and 10 now from the 50-yard line. Throws a screen at the outside to his right side, finds some room again. Chakillis runs the ball, and he will be brought down at about the 47-yard line of Steinbach.
Great run. Nice little pitch pass out to the running back, Trackless. He just turns it upfield, and again, a little water bug. He's just able to make some nice little cuts, and boy, it's tough to bring him down. Yeah, water bug. You know, they're quick. They swim quick.
1st and 10 from the 48-yard line with 3 minutes and 13 seconds left. Daniels looks back to pass, throws outside to his right, but incomplete. Intended receiver was number 9.
Matthews. Eric Matthews. 2nd and 10 here. Let's see what Kelvin can come up with here.
3:06 left in the 4th quarter. Kelvin is getting over the ball quickly. So Daniels looks and finds his receiver, who will make something happen, get up to about the 40-yard line, so a gain of about 8 yards.
Tyler Buchert on that play, on the tackle. Good job to come up and prevent the first down. Looks like it's what, 32?
go over 2 yards, the referee gives a 3-minute warning. So 3rd and 2. Kelvin needing to do something here to keep this series going. And Daniels will pass and complete to his receiver for a first down at the 35-yard line to number 13.
What a nice clutch pass and catch on that. That was great.
So Sharif keeps the series going. So 1st and 10 from the 34-yard line for Kelvin. Coming up to 2 minutes and 30 seconds left in the 4th quarter. And Daniels will continue to look to pass, and he will throw it up.
Oh, great
Caught
catch.
on the play by number 80 down to the 15-yard line.
Great catch by 80.
Good adjustment to the ball by number 80, Brock Gates.
Boy, he really reached up high and fought off the DB on that one to make that catch. Kelvin's definitely on a roll here.
So 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line. Kelvin looking to make something happen. Daniels continues to look to throw, complete to his receiver at about the 11-yard line.
Eric Matthews with the catch.
And they in fact will give him the 10-yard line. So Eric Matthews, 5-yard gain. 2nd and 5.
Again, you got to be conscious of the time here for Kelvin. It's just under 2 minutes here. You want to get the ball in the end zone quickly.
Daniels continues to work from the shotgun, and this time he does have his receivers all loaded to his right side, but looks to his left, throws way over the head of his intended receiver, though.
Intended for Chocolates. 3rd and 5. 1:38 left in the game.
So that does stop the clock. Gives a bit of a breather to the Kelvin offense.
Fans are getting into it here.
Spreads his receivers out. Daniels back to pass, and he's pursued on the play. He will find some room to his right side, but eventually tackled for a bit of a loss. The ball will be turned over on downs. Steinbach will take over from about the 11, 12-yard line. Great coverage by the Steinbach defensive backs.
Well, great pressure coming up. Actually, Daniels didn't have a lot of time. The rushing the number 15 was for Sharif. For Kelvin was standing in the back of the end zone wide open, but Daniels just was not able to find him. Excellent job by Steinbach defense to pressure Daniels, and you know, good job on them pitching a shutout here. That's great job by the defensive coordinator for Steinbach.
So they will take over from their own 11-yard line, and I think we can almost guarantee that they will continue to run the ball, which has worked for them. And they do that. Bueller will take the ball and push it up and get to about the 20-yard line.
I think we're going to see a lot of Bueller left and Bueller right on this.
Good speed. Good speed shown by Bueller, who will get a 9-yard gain on that one. So 2nd and 1.
Kelvin does have both their timeouts left. Look to see if they're going to call any.
So 2nd and 1 from the 20-yard line. Bueller's moves to the right side this time, and will be, after gain about 4 or 5 yards, gets a first down. And keep this play going. So with 58 seconds left in the game, things are looking good for Steinbach to win the CTV Bowl of the Winnipeg High School Football League.
A timeout on the field. So timeout, Kelvin. They brought in a couple other players here. Looks like a little bit more beef on the D-line because they know that Steinbach will be trying to pound that ball. Well, down at center field, we can see Commissioner Rick Hankwich and Brian Marks, who is the JV commissioner. They're getting the trophy, the CTV bowl out and ready, and the banners. So exciting times in high school football when teams get to receive their awards.
And I will tell you, Greg, we have been with the benefit of some excellent football for the past 2 nights. 3 really good games. Yeah, we had a outstanding game, 2 outstanding games yesterday. First game was the WHSFL Bowl. We had Kildonan East 35 and St. John's 32. Basically, that game came right down to the last minute. So with 56 seconds left, 1st and 10 from their own 26-yard line. Steinbach continues to control the ball. And Bueller will take the ball at a snap, and he will come up for about 5 yards.
Timeout again taken by Kelvin. 53 seconds left. The second game from last night was the Canada Inns Bowl. That had Portage Trojans versus the Dryden Eagles. Dryden won that game 21-0. The score was not indicative of the play. The Trojans actually had a really good game. They got the ball down into the red zone. Dryden's defense was spectacular that evening, and they were able to pitch that shutout.
Yeah, came up very strong at the right time for Dryden and was able to prevent Portage from scoring when it counted. But Portage was moving the ball and just wasn't able to finish.
Being an old defensive coordinator myself, you always know that defense wins championships.
Defense wins championships.
And here we are in the CTV Bowl, and 16-0 again. So
Steinbach will continue with the direct snaps, and
they got enough for a first down here.
Bueller will get another first down, a gain of about 7 yards on the play. Temper's flaring a little bit, assuming that Calvin's a little frustrated. Flag on the play even. One of the Calvin players is heading off the field, and
well, Steinbach coaches are calling the players over. He's saying basically, look guys, there's 48 seconds left. Keep your
Objectionable
composure.
conduct, Steinbach number 4.
In fact, the objectionable
Dead ball foul.
penalty is
It's a
against
first down.
Steinbach. I'm sorry, was there another penalty called there, guys? I missed that. I was talking, so.
Well, their refs are asking number 4 to come off the field here. So, yeah, you know, as a coach, you want to make sure that your players are not taking those silly penalties at the end of the game and marching the team back. This is not what you want to see happen. You know, I don't know if the game's on the line anymore with 48 seconds left, but you know, certainly you want to keep composure and you want to have your last few plays spent on the bench.
I'm wondering if there was 2 penalties there, because that appears to be more than 15 yards to me, but so Steinbach will continue. Their ball on their 22-yard line, 1st and 10, however. Bueller will continue with the ball, and we'll find some room on the right side and continue to move up, and we'll get a first down, 12, 13 yards.
Well, you know what, Coach Peters at the press conference on Tuesday was obviously highlighting the fact that this is their 3rd time to the championship game, and they obviously lost 2 the previous 2. So, you know, good for Steinbach for them to come out and be able to win a championship and bring that banner back to their school.
So with 25 seconds left from their own 37-yard line, Bueller will take a knee.
And here comes the bucket. Steinbach players are going to give Coach Peters a nice little shower bath here. Once again, congratulations to Coach Peters and the Steinbach Sabres for a great game played. Well done on their defense. Congratulations to Steinbach.
Clock is running, so basically Steinbach can kill the clock now and end this game on this play. So congratulations, as Greg said, congratulations to the Steinbach Sabres for winning the CTV Bowl of the Winnipeg High School Football League. Got 2 seconds left on the clock, so we will finish with one more play yet. Celebration definitely happening on the Steinbach side of the ball.
And obviously Kelvin's had has to hold their head up high. They've come out here and played a great game. They just were not able to convert any of their red zone opportunities.
Great finish for the Steinbach Sabres, and now, you know, especially congratulations to Coach Peters. You know, 3 years in a row in the CTV Bowl and finally winning one.
You know, and great game by Bueller. I mean, their star running back. Obviously, they moved him into that quarterback position and just basically run him left, run him right. He took control. One of the scoring plays was when they had the ball deep in their own zone, probably about the 10 or 15 yard line, and basically he had the entire field to run and score their second touchdown in the second half here.
Well coached, controlled the ball most of the game. And again, like the game yesterday, although Kelvin wasn't able to score, not indicative of how well they played. They did move the ball and moved themselves into scoring position a couple of times, just not able to get the ball in the end zone. Steinbach's defense stiffened up enough that, you know, to get a turnover for you know, to keep the score at 0. So we are hoping to get down to the field for an interview with the winning coach in just a minute.
Well, I just wanted to do a shout out to the Winnipeg School Division, DTV students and staff that are working to broadcast these games. Right now on screen you can see a lot of the highlights from the game. This is a student event or student team that's running the cameras and doing the interviews and stuff like that. And just want to do a little bit of a shout out here that these kids have worked really hard today. And
so we're going to be heading down to the field right away. I can see that Connor's getting ready to have a conversation with the winning coach, Mr. Peters. So we'll head down to field level. Okay, he's ready. Here today. So we're waiting for the team to shake hands and presentation of the trophies. Now, the unofficial LRSD TV Player of the Game Award, I think we would both with Mr. Bueller from Steinbach, who's had a fantastic game today.
Absolutely, I think he's doing fairly good for sure. Dominant running back, obviously. Steinbach's game plan here coming out in second half is just to wear down the Kelvin defense and get their offensive line firing up hard. Bueller, I'm guesstimating, of course we don't have hard numbers here, but I'm guesstimating that he's had well over 200 yards rushing today. So if I was commissioner here, I'd probably obviously pick Bueller to be the player of the game.
Shout out to Rick Henkowitz too from the Winnipeg High School Football League, who's run a fantastic show over the last few days and a fantastic show of the league this year. Quality of football we've been able to watch has just been excellent.
Post-game ceremonies. Thanks for lining up on the 50, fellas. And the first recognition that we will make before presenting the medals to the finalists and the champions is the CTV Bowl Most Valuable Player. And undoubtedly, this award goes to, from Steinbach, number 12, Austin Bueller. That's Commissioner Hankiewicz and Mr. Sean Churchill of CTV presenting the award. And at this time, I would like to call upon the captains of the Kelvin Clippers to receive their finalist medals from Mr. Sean Churchill of CTV. And finally, and most importantly, the presentation of the champions' medals and the CTV Bowl trophy to the captains of the new champions, the Steinbach Sabres. Again, a final congratulations to both teams for their fine seasons and the great effort tonight. And I'd like to thank all the parents and the student body for their support. Greatly appreciated. Drive home safely.
All right, welcome back. We are just finishing winding things down here. It's at the end of the Kelvin and Kelvin Clippers versus the St. Steinbach Sabres football game. The CTV Bowl, the presentation of the awards is taking place, and so we're just winding down and finishing things up. We already see we have St. Paul's out getting ready for the next game. Just want to remind you folks that if you're joining us for the Vincent Massey St. Paul's football game, the Anavet Cup, taking place in about half an hour, that you do need to switch streams. So go back to lrsd.tv and check on the other stream. In the meantime, we are looking, we're just waiting to see if we can have an interview with the coach of the Steinbach Sabres. Great football game that we saw this afternoon, a great way to start off this evening. We're good to go. So we're going to head down to the field. We got our interview on the field with the head coach, the winning coach of the Steinbach Sabres. So we'll head down to the field so that we can catch that interview with.
I'm here with the head coach of the Steinbach Sabres, and I was just, I'm sure you're very proud of your team right now.
Super proud of our team. What a gutsy effort, 16-0. Our defense gave up 7 touchdowns in 10 games all year. That's just outstanding. That was our strength. They did a heck of a job today. The offense made some plays. Just a great feeling, and third time's the charm. So happy to come out on the right end of this.
Is there anything next for your team?
Anything left for our team? Well, I mean, the ultimate goal is to get this program to AAA, and this is a step towards the right direction. We got to keep feeding off this, and we got to keep getting better, and we got to try and get up and play with the big boys.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Coach, and congratulations on your win.
Thank you. Take care. Go Sabres.
All right, please stay tuned for our next broadcast later tonight.
On behalf of the Louis Riel School Division and the LRSD TV, I'd like to thank you all for joining us this evening. Again, on behalf of myself and Greg Kiesman, we look forward to going to our next game, so please come back and join us.